Hey, first video of the year. It's been some long 10 days into the year. Not gonna lie, this new job that I have, it's an English, well, it's a medical interpreter. It's very hard. Damn, such a hard wind just hit right now, bro. What the fuck? Just started the video, man. My first video outside. I feel really, really comfortable. So earlier, I was recording this video talking about my insecurities and how I feel about them and how I want to sort of share them, on these videos. With my bicycle, by the way. I went to get some things for my date tomorrow with my girlfriend. We're gonna make some ramen and we're gonna cook, have a good time. So, I feel like with these videos, I always tend to talk about my things that I'm insecure about. I was about to say flaws or weaknesses, but I don't think they're weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? I feel like most of the time when I talk about these things, I'm constantly tiptoeing around these words because I don't want to make people feel or make people realize that I'm often just trying to make myself feel comfortable in certain situations, which in my head equals, weakness. When I talk about stoicism being some sort of, I would say coping mechanism, but it's a way for me to deal with my problems, And lately I've been thinking about it. It's like both stoicism and whatever I'm just doing to make myself feel at peace with all of this hardship that, the world could put on my way is linked to just accepting yourself and your flaws, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't need people to like you. You don't need to be perfect to do and to be limitless. Does that make sense? And so I guess I just want to communicate on this video that this year I want to do my best to accept my flaws, to put them out there, to just feel comfortable with them, and to feel confident about them as well. I'm literally burning myself, but whatever. It's so hot out here, man. I know that people in Canada or like in the United States are freezing right now because it's really cold, but out here it's really, really hot. Ooh, is this nice? Feel the breeze? Nice. So, yeah, that's the person who I am. I was made this way. I feel a lot of things, but I want to choose to deal with them correctly and wisely, and that's what I'm sort of doing. That's what I'm working on, to be that type of person. I want to do that. I want to be okay with my insecurities, with my flaws, with where I am, with who I am, with what I have to offer. Like I said, I don't want to be an obstacle for myself and for my goals. If I ever want to do something, I want to do it, regardless of the outcome. I'm not gonna be an obstacle for myself. If anything, is gonna prevent me from being the person who I want to be, from getting my goal. That's not gonna be me. Today I was also writing, and that's why it's so embarrassing sometimes to talk about it, because it's like every time I talk about stoicism, every time I talk about the things I write, the things I think, the things the things that help me, they're always something related to making me feel better. I hope this hold on. I hope my tripod doesn't get knocked off. Either way, it's always related to making me feel better. And I feel like, in a sense, I don't like talking about it because I feel like I'm putting my weaknesses out there for everybody to see. And that should be okay in a sense, you know what I'm saying? I have been an anxious person. I've been mean, I've been dumb, I've been, many ways. I could be ugly. There's a lot of things about me that can be ugly. But that's the stage I'm in many of, the things that constitute my persona, my intelligence, the way I look, the way I think, the way I treat people. All of these things are things that I want to work on and be better at. And things that I might, my ideas themselves that I, constantly share on here, I'm often hesitant to share because I feel like I haven't put enough thought into it, The things I write, I'm hesitant to share them because I feel like they're not good enough, that they have no substance. But truly, I was writing today earlier about it, that sweet spot, that goal that you want to have, that intelligence, that level of, I don't know, the mental, like emotional intelligence, the intelligence in general, I don't even know how to call it, the level at something that you want to have, whether it be like, soccer, muscles, whatever, really anything that you're striving to be good at. It's just a sweet spot. It's very rare that you have, a ceiling that you can reach. There's pretty much not a ceiling for anything, truly. You know what I'm saying? It's just a sweet spot, something that you can feel comfortable at. It's like, for example, somebody would feel comfortable with, I don't know how to put it. Like, for example, you could feel comfortable with having a certain amount of money, but you could have more. It's just a sweet spot that you're looking for. You could feel happy about, running, like 100 miles in, 10 hours or something like that. But it's just a sweet spot. There are people and human beings can run 100 miles in less than 10 hours, right? But you still feel good with that. And my point is, like, there are a lot of people who shame themselves for not being there, And truly, you're just looking at a sweet spot. My point is, the only difference between that sweet spot and the stage in which you are right now, because they're both just stages or levels, it's just that the sweet spot is above that. But there are always more stages above the sweet spot that you probably are not even interested in for some reason. You know what I'm saying? And if you start thinking about it, it's like, well, you're right, Maybe I like that sweet spot because it is above average, not many people get there. Or it would give me it would help me like live my life easily or whatever, But the only difference between that sweet spot and the stage in which you are right now is just levels. So this spot in which you are, in which I am right now, I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it correctly, this is the best that I could possibly be right now. I was determined to be here, to be at this level, in this point in time. It is the best I could possibly be, This is the smartest, the most emotional intelligent I could be right now. And I know that damn well because I've utilized all of my resources. I think the video is lagging as well. I've utilized all of these resources to get to this point. I've utilized the time that I had available, the money that I had available, the people that I had around me that could help me get to this point. This is what I have to offer. This is how good I could be as of right now. Maybe in the future I will get to the sweet spot and I will be really happy to share, that with the world. But there's nothing to be ashamed of concerning my level right now. Concerning, who I am, the way I think, how far I've gotten, what I have to share. So I think that's it. I think what I wrote earlier was just a way to help me realize and remind myself that to simply remind myself that it's okay, and that I'm doing well, that I'm doing the best I can. Nothing possibly assures you that you're gonna get to that sweet spot. Nothing assures you that you're even capable of getting to that sweet spot. But you still try, you still strive. So every single step of the way should fill you with pride, because you are getting as good as you possibly could get, you know what I'm saying? At this point in time, of course. So why hide that? Why feel ashamed of that? You know? If somebody tries to shame that, like for example, to tell you just an example, not that I care about these things, because there are a lot of other things that I would care about. For example, sorry that that's too loud. My point is, like, if somebody shamed me about, like, if, for example, one situation makes me realize that I'm not emotionally intelligent as I thought I was, I shouldn't feel bad, because I used to be worse at this. I used to handle things in a worse way. If somebody shames me, let's say there's somebody out there who shames me for the type of videos I make. There was a point in time in which I didn't even want to make videos. There was a point in time in which I rejected the idea of making videos because I was afraid of my English. I was afraid of so many things. Now, if they pointed out at me, I'll be like, you know, that's okay. This is as good as I can possibly be. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of these ideas. I'm proud of how I expressed it. I'm proud of all of that, because, you know, these are the outcomes of my hard work over the years, compounded over the years, you know. So I feel like that's it. That's what I want to do in this year and in my entire life, I guess. I want to embrace who I am, with flaws and everything. I think that's what's gonna make us limitless, you know? It's like when I look at Lil B, when I look at all these people doing stuff that you could tell, like, damn, I don't know, like, he's doing that, you know what I'm saying? Oh my god. Oh wow. There's a pigeon that is missing a leg. It is just jumping around. That's crazy. And then there's this fat ass trying to court his girl. I mean, I'm talking about a pigeon, by the way, not a person. But that's so cute. That's a pigeon, man. It's literally standing on one leg. That's beautiful. I would show you, but this camera is really bad. Well, maybe I could show you. Wait, can I turn this around? I think I cannot. Either way, that might be the end of this video. Yeah. Yeah.